Hello all you bladers! Today we're unboxing Eclipse Genesis G5. If you don't want to watch the entire video, timestamps are in the description. Okay, so here we have Eclipse Genesis, which is Gwyn Reynolds Bay. I do not have the TT version, but it's very exciting to be getting the Hasbro version. I have heard some very good things about this bay, and that it is rumored to be one of the best in Hypersphere's Hasbro. So let's see if it is. Right off the bat though, by looking at the back of the box, you can definitely see that it does not have the infinite lock system or the driver with the hybrid driver thing, because it has a disc and it has a chip. So it's just going to be normal. Obviously it does not come with a weight that is interchangeable, because it's Hasbro. There are no weights that are interchangeable. Unfortunately, you can also not take the Big Bang armor off just by looking at the box. And it is labeled to be a stamina type for some reason, even though it is a defense type. So that is very weird. It comes with a swipe and friction Hypersphere. It also comes with a launcher, which is very nice. And based on its drop-in time, which is the little arrow thing going in a circle, and the spin time, which is the clock, it is very suited to be a stamina type. So let's go ahead and unbox this Genesis Beyblade. So like I said, you can definitely tell that it does not have the infinite lock system because it has a chip. And Regalia Genesis, this is the actual layer. It does not have an interchangeable chip. It just twists. This is free spinning, this part here, and it has this little red thing. So it has the design and everything, but it doesn't really look like it is free. It doesn't really look like it has the infinite lock. So here are the slopes, if you guys want to see it. They look pretty raised and pretty good. QR's at the end of the video, by the way, for Hasbro bays from now on. And then, yeah, it looks very symmetrical. There's these red eyes here and gold eyes on the top, so that's something that's not completely symmetrical. So Big Bang Genesis, or should I say Eclipse layer, it looks very big for a Hasbro Hypersphere layer. It looks pretty big. I mean, compared to like layers like this, it looks really big. Very, very wide. And then obviously looks pretty thick as well. I mean, this is just a really big layer. So obviously when you put the chip on it, here is what it looks like if you want to see what the chip looks like with it. And then the back side, just make sure the QR isn't showing. Okay. So yeah, this is what it looks like from the back side, then the front side, and then just so you see, it looks pretty aggressive because of these points here. And then it has these I don't think you can take the Big Bang armor off. Yeah, I don't think you can take the Big Bang armor off. So, yeah, you definitely cannot move this. It looks really thick though, and it definitely has the design, these little button things here. It definitely tried to replicate the shape of Genesis, but that doesn't mean that it actually has the gimmick. Yeah, these buttons are definitely being resembled by Genesis, for sure. So this is very thick, and yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. It's really big, it's really thick, and it looks pretty aggressive for a defense type Hasbro layer, Hypersphere. So the disc is Swipe, and Swipe looks very similar to Hybrid's metal sort of thing. Looks like they tried to emulate it somehow. Like there's these little like line things which are similar to these things. Like, look at that, they're similar. And then like there's these things on the side which are pretty similar, like these things. And then there's also this thing which is pretty similar as well. And if we move this is also similar. So they, like a lot of the parts on Hybrid and Swipe are very similar. I'm not sure how much this disc weighs, but it doesn't look that heavy, especially since it's very hollowed out on the inside. Like very hollowed out. But it does look to be pretty circular and balanced. That's good, I guess. So finally we have the driver, which is Friction Hypersphere. It looks really tall for some reason. Here's the number if you want to see that for some strange reason. And then it looks very ball-shaped. there's these little things here which are like basic friction, like driver sort of details. These little symbols here on the side, this like hexagon sort of shape. And there's a smooth ball in the center, which is good for defense. Now, the thing I like about Hypersphere bays is that they don't just completely take the center. Like, they're always moving. Where'd the driver go? They're always moving around. Always moving around, which is something that is very good about Hypersphere bays. They don't just automatically take the center. So let's actually get the full setup here. Sorry, I keep saying Big Bang. Eclipse Genesis, Swipe, Friction, Hypersphere. Okay, let's see the teeth on this bad boy. I've heard some... Okay, that is pretty tight. So, the first click is okay, I'm gonna do it slowly and describe how it's feeling. Okay, it feels really strong. This is definitely gonna be hard to move. I think you're definitely gonna need a really big hit to get past the first click. Once you get to half damage, it feels a bit weaker. So once you get to half damage, you'll definitely be getting a lot more damage in on Big Bang Genesis. It's getting closer to bursting, and it feels a lot weaker. Definitely feels a lot weaker. And then it slides, yeah. So the further, basically, in the beginning, when it takes no damage, it's very hard to move. But the more damage you take, the easier it is to move. So you need a really big hit for Genesis to take any damage, like a really big hit in the beginning, and then just continue to attack from there. That's the only way you're gonna burst Big Bang Genesis. You can't attack slowly over and over again. That's not even gonna get past the first click of damage. And yeah, this looks really, really big. Like, comparing it to another bay, which I have right here, is Cosmic Kraken Vanguard Valor, a stamina type. It looks pretty tall compared to it. I mean, if this is flat... I mean, it's not super tall, but you can definitely see how thick it is. And it definitely feels super tight as well. I mean, it's a bright spin defense type. It's really thick. It's super heavy. I'm assuming it's super heavy. It just... Yeah, it's pretty tight as well. It's just... this looks really good. I think this is definitely going to be something to look forward to doing battles with. I mean... This might even be so good that I can do battles with it against like turbo bays like Emperor Fornius, and it still might be a match for it. I'm assuming this is how good the bay is. I haven't done any battles with it yet. So let's go ahead and weigh it, by the way. So I've got some other Hypersphere layers to compare. The chip is 2 grams, by the way. So this is about 11 grams. This Big Bang Genesis layer should be pretty... 14 grams. I gotta be honest, I was expecting a bit heavier, but 14 grams on a Hypersphere layer is definitely nothing to laugh at whatsoever. So next is the discs. Let's just compare Valor or something. Valor is about 20 grams, you know, pretty average for Hasbro discs. Swipe is pretty light, actually, only 19 grams. So the layer is pretty heavy, disc is pretty light. It all depends on the driver now, which I'm expecting to be pretty heavy, maybe 9 grams. So 8 grams. So driver's 8, disc is 19. Driver with disc is about 27. Layer's 14. Layer with driver is about 23. You want to see the layer with a disc, it's about 33. And finally, the full setup of the bay. Eclipse, Genesis, Swipe, Friction, Hypersphere. Really tight, thick, bright spin defense type is about 42 grams. I am honestly fine with that because the layer is really heavy. The disc is pretty light. So if we just change the disc and add a frame, not that we're gonna do that for the stock combo, but as far as like combinations go, this could definitely be really heavy if you just add like 0 and expand or something. If you add like 0 and expand, it could definitely be like somewhere near 50, which is very heavy for a Hypersphere Beyblade. So Big Bang Genesis, not disappointing at all as far as the weight and thickness and tightness and life after death and all that go by Huntsman. So let's test it out and see what it does. Using the new Hasbro launcher, which feels really resistant. Like when you put the bay The clicks when you put the bay on feel really tight, which means the launcher is pretty good. I'm definitely thinking of putting this up against all of my Hasbro bays, maybe even like bays like Emperor Fornius, even like /Valkryie, probably not /Valkryie, but you get the point. So pretty calm. Oh yeah, very aggressive. Very aggressive. It looks pretty nice when it's spinning. Pretty nice when it's spinning. Let's do a flat launch just to see. Yeah, so it's pretty aggressive for a defense type. I don't think I agree with the runtime that was on the box because it moves around quite a bit. In fact, I don't think there's any Hypersphere bay that doesn't move around this much. So just a light launch just to see it spin its way in the center. Yeah, that looks really nice. So let's just do a quick zoom in action here. So big, sorry, I keep saying big. Eclipse, Genesis, Swipe, Friction, Hypersphere. Not disappointing in any way, except for maybe the disc and the not infinite lock system and the not hybrid driver, which is a lot. But for Hypersphere bay, I wasn't expecting the infinite lock system, honestly. I mean, at least the Big Bang Armor takeoff thing, I mean, they did that with Union Achilles with the sword, so why not Genesis, I guess, but whatever, I guess Gwyn isn't as important as a character as I do. But yeah, this is not disappointing besides those three things, the disc, the hybrid, and the not infinite lock thing. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to looking forward to battling with this thing, so subscribe, like, comment, hit that bell notification so you don't miss the next upload. Thank you for watching, and peace out. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, hit that like button, share the video, and until then, have fun and keep on blading.